Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway, a 1.5 mile racetrack, super speedway-ish. It might be a bit of a super speedway kind of race, but with that out of the way, let me also start the recording of this video as well, because... Alright, yeah, just saw that as soon as it happened. Alright, this may be a recording video. Due to the weather that has been impacting most of my area, it is mainly the cold that has started doing this. We are going to be having ourselves a day where connection might be a problem. It might be a problem. I hope it's not. Hopefully it gets better throughout the day, but because of the awful weather that I am surrounding myself with because of my area, I have no choice but to do this kind of race with this kind of connection. But if I do this race and I record the VOD, the quality of the said VOD won't be the same as what you're seeing on stream right now. Hopefully. I normally don't do this because normally I wouldn't have to worry about this, but because of the awful weather, that's what's gonna have to be. So for that out of the way, with that out of the way, let's get into hopefully a smooth race, at least for the stream and all that. You'll also notice this too, how I am not doing the pre-race stuff like I was beforehand. That is mainly because I didn't have enough time to make a pre-race thing for this. But there really wasn't much to go over that I couldn't go over right now. Sure, maybe a recap of Dover would have been nice, but mainly Dover was probably one of our most calmest races, but had a very chaotic ending, which is, I guess, the norm of this series for the most part. Down here, though, we have 195 laps, so I guess let's get underway, I guess, because there's a lot that I would like to talk about, but I can talk about it here kinda shortly soon. It would also just depend on the stream. But like I said, if the stream and the quality of the stream dips and it's kinda hard to follow live, I'll upload a small VOD I'll upload the VOD, I guess, from straight through my OBS, so that way it'll be at the highest quality possible. With that out of the way, let's get into the starting lineup for today's race. If you want to know the speeds and how fast these drivers are going to be going, I'll tell you the top 10 in terms of their lap times, because it's not really much of a difference here as we move down the list in terms of lap times. But to start things off here, Melody on the pole will start next to Simu in the 99. Top 2 setting a 31 second lap time. Melody setting a 31.0, 31.1 for Simu. Row 2, we have Star in the 24 next to Bimble in the number 9. Very similar lap times here as well. Just a couple hundredths off from the pole. Row number 3, we will have our Daytona winner starting next to the Texas winner not too long ago. The first and second race respectively starting next to each other as well. Next row back, we have Watson starting in 8th, but starting in 7th is our points leader heading into today's race by only 18 points, which is quite a lot. So there was a bit of a gap between first and second, and now it's kind of opened back up after the race at Dover was it last week? I think so. But Soleil's coming into this race first in the points. Will they leave first in points? Well, with a 22-point gap to Merriweather and a 30-point gap to Noriboshi, 3rd and 4th respectively in the points, maybe that'll be the case. But we'll talk more about that here in a minute. Going back to the starting lineup, though, Hano Mizuki and Fu will round out the top 10. We go back outside the top 10. We'll find Gura starting in 11th. Starting alongside her is Henya. Going back another row, we have Callie starting alongside William. They are starting in the 13th and 14th spot, respectfully. Yeah. Bao in 15th, and second place in the points as of right now. Sprite starting in 16th. Selen starting in 17th. Alongside them is Nana in the 85, who desperately still needs to get something going here because Nana is at the bottom of the points so far. That might change tonight. Who knows? Going back another row, we have Kason and Malcolm ending out the top 20. Go back to 21st. We'll find the number 84 of Fruit starting alongside Dreamer in the 89. Starting at 23rd will be DM. Starting 24th, Lumi. Going back to 25th, we have Risu in the 2 car. Starting 25th. 26th is Fifi. Kyoso starting in the 27th spot alongside David, who I have a lot to talk about for him, but we will talk more about him in just a moment. Let me get through the rest of this lineup. Kobo starting in the 29th spot, and Tyroki starting in 30th. DJ Overdrive and Weebu 31st, 32nd. Then we have Lucky and Lumen 33rd and 34th. Filian in 35th, D in 36th, and rounding out this field is a number 60 car of Merriweather. A very surprising qualifying, lack of a qualifying that is, for the number 6 car, considering of how dominant he has been in the last couple of races. Well, with that out of the way, we're ready to get this race underway. 195 laps around this circuit. And as we get set to roll off the grid, I'll turn down this music here as well. Like I said, lots to talk about here, especially considering what the Dover race had in store for us. Simu, who is riding off of a dominant performance from Dover, unfortunately couldn't back it up because he got involved in 2 incidents. Now with that out of the way, we are set to go racing. Hopefully the audio ain't too loud. It's going to be loud and it's not going to be loud. Who knows? 195 laps around this track, our 6th race of this young, very young season. It feels like, it really does feel like the season has flown by, but we are not even a third of the way through just quite yet. Now for those that did not end up catching a glimpse of the next couple of racetracks that we will be going to within the next couple of weeks. Next week is Michigan. We will be going up north to Michigan. So we're down south today, up north next week. Pace car is off. Melody and Simu ready to lead the field. 195 laps around Atlanta Motor Speedway. The 6th round of the VTuber Racing 2024 season is underway. I'm going to be keeping an eye on a lot of things here today, so hopefully I don't get all messed up here. I'm going to be watching not only this race, but also the stream as well. Hopefully that I can go the whole way. But Melody takes a commanding lead, entering turn number 3. Side by side behind, and it's Nori on the bottom of Star. Star, who finished 2nd, if I remember correctly, 2nd or 3rd, definitely in the top 3. It was a tight battle for the win last week. Looking to get something, again, better than where she finished. A strong run here so far. Melody will lead the first lap out of, again, 195. This race will kind of fly by. No doubt about that, though. Star looking to make a move into the inside of number 36. Simu's up to 3rd now. After starting 2nd, falling back a little bit of ways. He's back up to the 3rd place spot now. Moves up high. Star stays low, however. Trying to take the lead away from the number 36 of Melody. Is underneath. Might see a lead change this early on. It took us a while. The last race, it took us a little while before we had a lead change. This week, maybe a little different. And maybe just a tad bit different. Doesn't look like it, though. Melody hangs on the outside. Simu's the one edging out ahead for 2nd. It's a lot of side-by-side racing at the moment. Not a lot of space between everybody, except for the leader. Melody hanging on. But everywhere else is kind of up for grabs at the moment. A good start by this 36 crew, who's been looking to get something going after a very close win on the Rainbow Road not too long ago. And now might be losing first right now. Here comes Simu to the inside. Still side by side out of 4. There's 3 wide going on in the background. Well, there's a lot of side by side action up here, so Simu edges out though. Got a lot of help from that inside line. Consists of a lot of consistent drivers. Got Simu, Star, Noriboshi, Iron Mouse, and Soleil. 5 drivers that have been really good so far at the start of this season. But Simu moves up top, and that's going to open up the door for that inside line to prevail. Simu will lead that lap, which I believe is officially the first lead change of the day. It took us 5 laps. But they're still side by side for the race lead. Like I said, this is going to be a slight, I would say pretty much a super speedway race. The next 2, 3, this race and the next race, I know for sure, are going to be a super speedway-like race. We have Atlanta right now, and then we'll have Michigan next week, which is a massive 2-mile track that has a lot of tight, close racing. We also have the Roval, the Charlotte road course coming up here. So that'll be our second road course race of this season. We have a lot of big-time tracks coming. Because after the Roval, we also go to Pocono, which is a pretty big track. That's a pretty big track. It's a triangular track, so instead of going in circles, we're going in triangular turns. I don't believe it's after the Roval. It might be, actually. But we also go to Talladega as well. So we have a lot, and I mean a lot, of racing that is going to be similar to this style right now. I don't think this is going to last completely long, as we're barely 8 laps through this race. Tire fall off is going to be more and more prevalent, and we're going to see the field start splitting up here as Star takes the race lead away, and the battle for second rages on between 2 drivers that have already won this season. And then we go back another row, and it's 2 drivers that are looking to get a win, as they might be 4 wide behind them. They were 3 wide, but I think I was about to see someone go 4 wide. But Callie, Gura, Bimble, and Melody, those 4 are nearly stacked on top of each other. But Callie's making a move down low underneath Mizuki. Looking like they might hang on for that. Still a battle for second, though. I mean, everybody's right on top of each other still. 10 laps into this race, and everybody's still down. They're 4 wide behind for... This is going to be for 5th. They're 4 wide. I don't know if this is going to work. I think they're kind of getting it settled out here. 3 wide barely works at this track. I don't want to imagine 4 wide. That'll be a massive one. I haven't had a huge wreck. I mean, we had a wreck at Daytona, a couple of wrecks at Daytona, but outside of that, we've had a lot of 1 or 2 car incidents, maybe 3 at most. I know Texas, we had a somewhat big wreck, but it wasn't as big. It was just a bunch of cars wadded up in the mix of everything, but not a lot of cars were damaged out of those wrecks. So that's one thing, too, is we haven't really had a lot of major wrecks in terms of how many people are involved. We've had a lot of 1 or 2 car... Oh, my God. Did I just jinx it already? Yes, I did. There's a wreck behind. Watson's upside down. Kyoso's heavy involved. Fu might be involved. Caution is out. 12 laps into the race. And that one's huge. Caution's out. And I think Star led him back to the line, if I remember. Yeah. So what happened here? I heard the wreck happening, but I didn't see it happening. Was it 4 wide, if I had to take a guess? Looks somewhat like it. Let's look here with Watson. Already 3 wide up top with Kyoso, Fu, and herself. No, it wasn't even 4 wide. It was just food. Yeah, just food just getting right into the 4. And then there they go. I mean, ooh, Henya with some front end damage too. Wow, look at that 4 car up and over. Gee, oh my god. Whew, that's a wreck. Let's go another look at it. Let's look at it from our actual camera angles here. Overdrive in the 12 did get a little bit of front end damage, but only got shoved down the track for the most part. Oh, Fu took a heavy shot though. Kyoso got on his side. He did get on his side, but it doesn't look like he didn't get up and over. That's the one thing though. Watson I would say Watson gets the worst out of this. And it's still only a 3-car wreck, which is quite surprising. This was back in the 14th position. So this was gonna result in, oof. Good job on everybody going down. Wow. Well, Fu may have not gotten the worst out of that, but the one that did was definitely Watson. I mean, Kyoso also has a lot of damage too. But mostly it's just that, I don't know, that everything's kind of caved in. Everything looks caved in on that 47. Such a shame too, because Kyoso and Watson were looking to make something happen out of a not-so-good race at Dover. Kyoso was up front for a part of the action at Dover, but not as much, not in a good position today to finish strong. The caution is out, and the 2 majorly damaged race cars are down into the pits. Do they retire, though, or do they try and squeeze it out for the rest of the event? It is a very, very early wreck, so this could... Kyoso's fine. Well, in terms of not wanting to... Yeah, it looks like both of them are going to try and get something repaired out of it. Still a very early race. There goes Kyoso. It looks like they repaired the side. I don't know if they repaired everything else, though, but some of the side damage got repaired. Fu didn't go down pit lane yet. They're still sorting stuff out here. A very early caution's going to pile up this field, but I think Fu's going to go down the pits here this time by. I think if Fu played it smartly, because I think Kyoso might not be a lap down, but Watson's definitely a lap down. Fu's not entering the pits right now. It might be a later entry. He might not even pit either. He didn't get a whole lot of damage. Not a whole lot of damage for the 17. Might be a bit of some cosmetic damage, but nothing too major. Plus, it's still very early in this race, and with how this track has been running, you definitely want your track position, so who knows there. In terms of the pit window, you got about 50 to 60 laps, but I don't know. That on fuel, you could probably make it about 70. On fuel, you can make it about 70 laps around here, maybe a bit less. But I don't know about the tires. They might not run that far with the tires. But so far, Star currently holding on for the race lead. Again, a driver that has been looking desperately to get a win. They haven't won this season yet, but they have been a very consistent driver. They've been up front pretty much every single race, with maybe the exception being Rainbow Road, but that's a very heavy exception. At second place here at Noriboshi, they're trying to have a much better start to the season than they had. I mean, they did win Daytona, but ever since then, they have been very much shambled in bad luck. Then you got Callie here in third place, another driver looking to at least make something out of nothing. That's been going on early in the season. Iron Mouse has been a bit more consistent than the other 3, so the top 4 definitely have some consistency going for them early in this season. However, 5th place with Melody, that's a whole different story. Led coming to the white flag at Rainbow Road, but could not seal the deal there, and ever since then has been pretty much a, hey, I'm up here, but not up there at the end kind of car. 6th place, we have our points leader heading into today, Soleil, who's looking to come off a very, I want to say, mixed Dover race. Was not up front through most of it, and then got not really taken out in an accident. Did manage to somewhat recover from that wreck that they were involved in. But still not a good finish there regardless. But still managed to open up the gap between them and Sprite in the points. So, if I remember correctly, it was a halfway decent recovery for this point, for the points leader. And we have Simu in 7th, looking to cap off a dominant run at Dover, but couldn't do it at Dover, but is looking to do it this week at Atlanta. 8th place is Gura, 9th place is Fifi, and 10th place is Hano Mizuki. 11th is Malcolm, 12th is Sprite, 13th is Henya, 14th is Bao, 15th is Lucky, William is 16th, Nana 17th, Selen 18th, Overdrive in 19th, Fruit in 20th, Dreamer 21st, Kobo 22nd, Weebu 23rd, Tyruki 24th, Phillian 25th, DM 26th, Merryweather 27th, Lumen in 28th, Lumi 29th, Kason 30th, Risu in 31st, D in 32nd, Fu in 33rd, Bibble in 34th, Kyoso in 35th, David in 36th, who I assume went down the pits to do something. And then coming out of the pits is Watson sitting in the 37th spot with no rear end. So a very, very Super Speedway-like start to this event here. 15 laps into this race. Will be 16 when we come across the line. And when we come across the line, we'll be back racing. So now that everybody's single-filed out, let's see if it's not as chaotic or as side-by-sidey as it once was. Pace car is back in the pits, and Star will lead them back to the green flag. Good jump by the 73 of Cali and the 36 of Melody. They are underneath Noriboshi and Iron Mouse respectively, and they will gain 2 spots, while those two that I just mentioned lose 2 spots. The 3 wide for second as Star hangs on to the point. That's Soleil right there pushing that 22 car, trying to get out front. Now keep in mind, if you lead a lap, you get a bonus point here, so it helps you out in the championship running. Especially in the far distant future, once we get towards the championship run. And I mean the championship run. Hard to say who's going to have it, because we're only 6 races in, and I've seen a lot of comers and goers here, as Melody, with a huge run into 3, not only takes the lead, but just runs away with it. What a run by that 36. Back to the race lead goes our pole sitter. They're 3 wide, so not directly behind Melody, but they are 3 wide for the 7th spot, I believe. No, this would be for the 8th spot. Close to it. Malcolm, Fifi, and Simu trying to tussle for position. They're side by side for second, but in the lead is our pole sitter. And our pole sitters have not been very lucky this year in terms of finishing. The only one that has done really well is David, who led a lot of laps at Martinsville and won the race from starting first. But being on the pole, let alone in the top half of the field in terms of where you qualify, normally doesn't result in good luck. You see Star trying to make a move for the race lead. Peeked underneath, is looking underneath, but can't get the run off 4. So Melody will hang on to first, and Callie's going to slide underneath the 24 and see if they can get up to the 2nd spot. Top 4 have kind of spaced out from 5th on back, who are battling 3 wide with each other right now. There's Callie. Star hangs on to 2nd, looking for 1st, actually. Once again, cannot get that run off 4. He's going to have to settle for 2nd at the moment. Iron Mouse hanging on to the bottom, trying to take 3rd away from Callie. 5th place is Nori, who's currently single-filed out right behind the 2 battling in front of them. Now, we have a trio of double-file action here. Actually, not now. Star making a move for first. Will actually get it and clear him. Coming out of 4. Good run by the 24. And another lead change here at Atlanta. Got to pull up that leaderboard. Sorry. Got so entranced for a second. A big slide by that 94. And that'll send her way up the racetrack in a battle for 3 wide. Actually, a 3 wide battle between Soleil and Fifi. And Gura's way up the racetrack. Way up the racetrack. Tries to slot back in the line, which that was pretty close. Top 4 have completely filed themselves out of everybody else from behind them. Battle for second. Here comes Callie underneath Melody looking. Can't get the run off the corner. Melody's going to be able to hang on. Kind of the same story as we saw back in Dover. You think the bottom line is going to be the best place to make a move, but sometimes that middle line can prevail. Battle for third. Iron Mouse looking to take the spot away from Callie. Can't do it. It's going to settle for fourth. That's going to bring the 94 of Noriboshi to maybe make a move for that spot. Here comes Melody looking for the first spot again. Might have the run off 2. Will stay side by side at the very least off 2. It's going to come down to who can get the run off of... I was going to say a run into 3 here, but it's still dead even. I think Star may have it here, though. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight off 4. It's going to be Star that's going to hang on. Star's going to hang on to first. Callie may take second, going up top. Fastest lap time so far. I mean, it's a mixed bag. I mean, look at that mess of 30.2s. It is literally all of the top 10. Top 11 have 30.2 second lap times. They have fallen off a considerably amount. About a 30.8 for Callie, a 31.1 for Melody. 30.9 for the race leader of Star. Might be losing that spot, though, as Callie makes a move underneath. Slides way up the racetrack, but enough momentum to clear off that 73 and continue to hold on to the race lead. Tries to chop that 73's nose off, but can't really do it. Stays up in the middle line. Good run here so far by the 24 crew. Still side by side for the race lead, though, coming out of 2 this time by. Iron Mouse, Noriboshi, and Fifi round out this top 5 so far. There's a little bit of a gap between these 5 and everybody else back. But all it takes is one side-by-side battle to change that complexion. They are 3 wide behind them, but that is for the 6th or 7th. No, that's for the 8th spot, rather. For third, they're 3 wide with Fifi on the bottom, Nori in the middle, and Iron Mouse up the top. That is going to let the top 2 kind of spread themselves out a little bit. Maybe not for too long. Callie tries to make a move again. I don't know if the 24 is playing good defense or if the 70, or if that, it's not even the 73, it's the inside line. That inside line cannot get anything going for them. Fifi noses out ahead for third. Might not be for too long, though. As they're still battling side by side for the race lead. It is hard to get any momentum on the bottom. If you're on the bottom and you're all by yourself, you want to slide up to that middle groove, get that grip on exit. It's on entry that bottom line can have some momentum pulling forward. Then you lose it all as soon as you get to the middle. Still hanging on, though. I'd say almost everybody is still involved in this pack. Kayson's fallen back, and so has D. Kyoso's doing all right for himself after being involved in the accident. He's in this pack, so not a whole lot of damage there. I don't see Watson anywhere. Did Watson retire? Looks like Watson did retire from that wreck after all. I think Watson tried to do something and realized that they couldn't do anything and pulled off. So, looks like the number 4 car of Watson's going to be our maybe only retiree from this race, but I probably jinxed the whole field. I'm sorry if I did. But I can confirm that there is one spot finalized, and that's the last place spot, because of the remnants of those tire marks up on the very top in turns 1 and 2. The stars pulled out a little bit of a gap here, about 2.5, 3/10 of a second. It's kind of died down a little bit here, but I don't know how you're going to be able to pass this 24. They have been rock solid in terms of their defense, trying to hold their own. Oh, a caution's out on the track. Oh my god! Big one. Right at the start-finish line. Fu is again involved in this one. What in the world happened here? Oh my god. How did Kaesong get involved in this? What happened here? Where did this start? Oh, it's probably started here. Let's see. 4 wide off of turn 4. Dreamer, Lucky. Ooh, oh no! Points leader again. Soleil involved. Maybe not as heavily involved in this one. Fu gets spun around. Oh my god, this is a mess. Oh, this is a mess. Oh, DM. Oh, Tyroki. Tyroki up and over the tire. Jesus. Bimmel's also involved too. I think Tyroki got the worst out of this. I don't even... It's just hard to tell what happened here. It is hard to tell what happened in this mess. Oh my god. It's a mess. So they're 4 wide with Dreamer on the bottom, Lucky in the middle, Gura in the middle, and Soleil all the way at the very top. And yeah, there's just nowhere for Lucky to go. Pinches down the 89, up the track they go. And then all of that goes down. Soleil's fine, just a little bit of damage there. I really want to get a shot, a wide shot of this. A lot of people are in the wall. See the 37 up the track, bam, right into the 89, and bam, into the 41. Kaesong flies in and rams right into the 41, bringing them up and over. Lucky's got some very heavy side damage. Jesus. Did Bimble get any sort of damage? I think Bimble just... Oof! Big tag by the 87. Maybe some slight rear end damage for that 9 car. Nothing too massive. Kyoso, look at Kyoso. Wow. Oh, I gotta look at Kyoso here. He was able to not touch anything, I believe. I want to say he didn't touch a thing. Oh, that's a mess. Oh, that's a mess. Oof. Oof. If he did anything in terms of, like, if he touched anything, it was very light. Yeah, Dreamer's got some very, not severe side damage. That might buff out. Fu's got some front end damage. I don't know if that'll buff out. That's going to be questionable. 2 cautions, and the 17's been involved in both of them. 4 wide at this track. It's not going to work. It's just not. And it does look like a lot of drivers are pitting, so you might see these two, not this camera angle, that's Victory Lane. We might see this camera in action here. I've seen a lot of drivers on the apron. We are 34 laps into this run, so it wouldn't surprise me if we do see some pitters here. Looks like it for the most part. Yeah, I don't know who's going to stay out. I think some drivers are staying out, actually. Might be a mixed bag. Yeah, it looks like some are staying out. Oh, wow, there's a lot that are staying out. It's very much half and half here. This is going to get interesting. Well, this is a very interesting strategy here for a lot of these drivers. Say Fu in the pits, very, very small, but you can definitely see the 17. He is getting that damage repaired. I don't think anybody's going to retire from that wreck. It didn't look like anybody had enough to retire. If anything, it's Tyroki that I would worry about the most, but he's off. He's out of the pits. He's fine. He's the one that took the most amount of damage. Dreamer looks, I think, decent. I think they got that side. Yeah, they got the side damage all fixed up, so I think for the most part, everybody got out of that with minor damage. I mean, there were some hard shots there, but I think the worst would have been for Kason. So, we'll see. Well, this is an interesting call because these drivers stayed out. So, Overdrive stayed out, Henya stayed out, Simu stayed out, Hano Mizuki, Soleil. That's a very risky call for what just took place, but they stayed out. Bao stayed out, Nana stayed out, Selen stayed out, David stayed out, Weebu stayed out, William stayed out, Lumen stayed out, Kobo stayed out, Lumi, Fruit, Kyoso, Risu, Filion, and I think, I want to say Bimble stayed out, because I know from Star all the way back, they pitted, they just pitted, and I don't know if the 9 pitted, and maybe if they did pit, they definitely had a very quick pit stop for repairing some damage. So I'm not entirely too sure if the 9 pitted or not. It didn't look like he did. It does look slightly damaged. I'm comparing... Okay, so Bimble and Star are both Fords. Yeah, that front end's a bit bent up. Yeah. You can kind of see it. Yeah, so Bimble did not pit. That's how I can tell. It's a very minor detail, but it is a detail I had to point out. In any case, Overdrive's going to be the one leading them to the green flag. Now, the question is what... This is going to be a chaotic restart. This is going to be a chaotic restart. How will everybody that just pitted, which is 20th on back, top 20 have, or the top 19 have not pitted. Everybody else has. Green flag's back on the way, by the way. This might be a... Oh, Jesus. Yeah, there's a... 35 laps on these tires doesn't seem like a lot. Unless the 9 car has a lot more damage than I thought. This is going to be a very chaotic restart. Whoa! Fifi sends that 24 way up the racetrack. This is going to be a chaotic restart. I don't know where to watch. Do I watch up front or do I watch from behind? Top 3 are right on top of each other. I mean, right on top of each other, but also look at the back of the field, too. I mean, Star has nowhere to go. He got filed back between the cars that did not pit. Jesus. This lap's going to be a good lap for me to compare lap times because of the fact that they are now fully up to speed. 31.1 for the most part. 31.1. Oh my god, that is a difference. So the leader is running a 31.1, and the people that started 20th on back that did pit, they are blazing through this field at like a 30.6, a 30.7 with traffic. That's with traffic, by the way. They'd be almost a second quicker without traffic. A 30.3, good lord. 30.6. And the leaders are running a 31.1. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but in racing terms, that's a difference. That's a massive difference. 0.6 of a second, maybe more, being covered in just a second. That's insane. The top 3 are holding pretty well for themselves right now. They're setting 30.7s. They're starting to get back, but it's still about a couple tenths slower than the guys that did just pit. So this is going to get very chaotic very quickly. Unless a quick caution comes out, which might happen. It might happen. We've had 2 already. It could happen at any point now. Top 3 are consistently running single file right now. 4th and 5th, Hano Mizuki and David, they're hanging on, but they're kind of pushing each other, helping each other out. I think. Looks like it. There's Nana trying to throw it 3 wide with Kyoso and Selen. 3 drivers that need to have something happen here today. And Kyoso, while they did get involved in the first wreck, they've been hanging on. Doesn't look like massive damage happened on that 47, despite going on their side. Simu looking for second. I can get to him. Despite the 47 be on their side and blowing up, going into the pits, they don't look halfway bad. They look fine. Soleil way up the racetrack. I don't know what that was about. The top 5 are on top of each other. Maybe top 6 if you include the 26 and the 47. So that'd be top 7. Soleil's there as well, just trying to hang on. They are stacked up 3 wide. And if we go back, we'll find the cars that mostly did not pit. Melody, for some reason, is also back here as well, but I think she did pit with the group. Simu takes the race lead. I might have missed that, but that's fine. But the outside pole sitter's hanging on to the race lead at the moment. Will they be able to hang on, though, because here comes Overdrive once again to try to take back that race lead. Kelso is hanging on right now, trying to take 4th away from David. But they're not looking like they're going to be able to at the moment. Side by side for the race lead, 3 wide for 3rd. Good lord, that was tight. That got tight. 3 wide, maybe 3 wide for the race lead. Now, this is crazy for me to say this, especially because given the context of what we witnessed, with Kyoso going from on their side in the first wreck to leading a lap in the span of 30 laps. Might not been that hard of a hit. I thought it was a big hit for that 47, but I guess not. Everybody's stacked up pretty much 3 by 3. A lot of these cars coming from... here's another driver that has been involved in both the accidents today. And he's up to 2nd. Looking for 1st. I mean, these cars can take a beating. I mean, we've seen it a lot this season. As Fu takes the race lead, still hasn't led a lap. Oh my god. And now the 17 will lead a lap. After being involved in both accidents so far. Another driver involved in the lap. There's actually everybody in the top 3 was involved in the last accident. I mean, not very major. The one that got the worst out of the top 3 right now is the 89 Dreamer. Even then, it was just some side damage. And they quickly got that scraped out. No pun intended. This field kind of separates. Kind of breaks apart. The battle for 2nd. That's going to let the 17 car kind of drive just a little bit of a gap. Don't look now. Here comes the 1. Here comes Gura trying to slingshot underneath. Get a good run. Can't get the run, though. Who's going to be able to hang on the top? 50 laps in the books. Stacking up big time behind them. Past the 4th place spot. They're 3 wide for 5th. This is only like a pack of... God, there's not a lot of cars in this pack. Top 10, maybe top 11. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, top 11 are on top of each other. Then there's a gap between there and here. He also falls to 12th. And then 13th, 14th, and 15th back here. Star's hanging on. Star's driving a little bit quicker than everybody else up here, but it's not a lot. Maybe a 1/10 and a half, maybe a bit less quicker than top 11 are running. I'm saying that because Star was one that pitted. He's got a huge run off of turn 4. Might be looking to pass the 47. 30.6. That is still quite a big difference between those two, not gonna lie. I mean, these cars can take a beating, but no matter what, especially at a racetrack like this where speed and all that means everything, it doesn't take a lot for you to feel a little bit of a disadvantage. I mean, it depends on the track. It depends on the crash. But if you hit a certain spot of the car, you're done regardless of how bad it hits. But we have not really found that kind of hit yet. If anything, it might be the rear end. Anybody that has retired from these races mostly has hit the rear end a little too hard. Dreamer's looking to take the race lead away. I don't think he's led a lap out of this whole exchange. He isn't going to now, but he might if he keeps this up. But yeah, top 11 are right on top of each other. Then it's about a second, a little less than a second between 11th and 12th place. But then the gap keeps growing every time you go down a position. This might be a group of 12. It might be a group of 13, but that's probably the most it's going to be at the very moment. We got Watson, who's the only car one lap down in 37th. But other than that, I mean, Fillion, who's in 36th, they're still about 9 seconds, a little less behind, which is not a lot. But considering how big this track is and how long we've ran under this green flag run, it might as well be right on top of each other. There's technically one car laps down, and that's Watson, but technically they can't do anything about that. They're out of the race. But outside of that, everybody else is still on the lead lap. You have one driver just kind of inch their way into the 29-second lap times, and that was Melody, the pole sitter, setting a 29.995. And if anybody really doesn't know anything about motorsports, it is more than a game of inches. It's a game of millimeters. You give up a centimeter, you're going to fall a lot. You got to be perfect. I mean, we look at these lap times here, and we look at how tight these battles are. I mean, 0.08 of a second last time by between first and second. It's literally blink and you'll miss it. Blink and you miss it kind of exchange. It's a game of milliseconds, a game of millimeters, it's a game of millis everywhere. It's a milli game, if you will. Foo's hanging on right now, which is not completely foreign. He was able to be a little bit dominant at Texas, although he got involved in an accident. Ironically, this has happened twice now this season that the 17 has been up front for a good while of a race and also getting involved in an accident. Also, ironically enough, Guro was also another driver that was up front during that Texas race as well. But I think Foo might lose first place. Fifi's underneath and has the nose out ahead. If Fifi can edge out entering 3, that might be all she wrote for the 17. Looks like it, yeah. will clear the 17, and now we have a new leader out front, and it's Fifi. Probably one of my favorite cars designed out there. I mean, looks really cool. Really like that design, but that's just me. They're still side by side for second and on back for the most part. Star and D have both caught this pack. I know D was a couple seconds behind at first, but started following the 24 and has now followed themselves into the promised land. Now there's 13 cars in this pack. Look at that gap, though. Look at this gap between this pack and the next pack. 13th place, which last time by was D, still 9/10 of a second behind the race leader. But then after that, it is a 6-second gap. And it just grows. I mean, it's 10 seconds between 1st and 17th. It just grows. It was at 1.8 seconds, and now it's over 10. The top 13 have legit ran away from the rest of the field. That is a foreign thing going on. I mean, we've seen packs happen. At Daytona, we kind of had something similar, but that was Daytona. This is Atlanta. We don't have a lot of this stuff going on. You don't normally see this. Well, I mean, well, at this track, yeah, you do now, but you didn't used to. The 3 wide for second right now, with Gura on the bottom, Dreamer in the middle, and Fu on the very top. Dreamer actually noses out ahead in the middle. And Fifi's kind of building a gap. It's hard to manage a gap between first and everybody else, but if anybody can do it, it's got to be Fifi. They're 3 wide, back there for fourth, as Dreamer and Fu still battle side by side for the second spot. Had a lot of lead changes today already, and a lot of lead changes overall this season. With how long these races are, you can't really pinpoint a dominant driver. You can pinpoint a dominant driver of a run or two, but that's about it. You're not going to be able to pinpoint an entire race domination. The only one that might be able to say that is David, who dominated at Martinsville and led the most amount of laps, obviously, and pretty much was up front every single run. But other than that, like, that's the one and only example that I could give off. A lot of what I like to call comers and goers. You'll be up front for one run, but will you be up front for the main run, which is that run to the finish? Well, at the moment, this top 13 clearly wanting to show that they're going to be... Somebody in this top 13 is going to win this race, right? I mean, it depends on if we run this far to the end. 66 laps down. We don't have... Really don't have much to, like... Oh, they're dooring each other. Good lord. I was gonna say, like, I don't know if this gap's gonna stay. I was about to say, I don't think this gap's gonna hold on between top 13 and back, but good lord. I was hoping I didn't immediately jinx it. There's stack 3 by 3 for... Well, now that as soon as I say that, it's kind of died out. But look at Fifi just running away with the lead. Just like how this whole pack is running away from everybody else. Now it's over 10 seconds. And I assume it's because a lot of these cars... Oh, a lot of them are pitting. That's one thing. A lot of them have also been drivers that didn't pit under that last caution, including the points leader. However, a lot of them are starting to pit, so this is going to get interesting. We have seen a lot of green flag pit stops, and oh, Jesus, that was close. I thought I was going to see it happen. I was going to say, like, I don't think we've really seen green flag pit stops interrupted by a caution. If that does happen, which I don't want to jinx it today, but it might happen sometime, that's going to screw up the entire race. And I mean, it's going to legit screw up an entire race. Hearing a lot of action going on pit road right now. I don't know if I'm the only one that can hear that. But the field's starting to somewhat split and separate as they're coming up on drivers that are pitting and exiting the pits. At some point, this top 13 is going to start falling out, and it's going to be a smaller pack. Especially because those drivers that are pitting, they're going to be quicker than this pack. They're going to demolish that gap. Everybody's out here running sub 30-second lap times. Everybody else that just pitted, they're going to blaze through this field. I mean, right now, I can't say anything much right now because not a lot of these cars have pitted. And everybody that has pitted, they haven't set a complete lap time yet. Or as everybody likes to call it, a hot lap. Nobody has really set that one yet if they have pitted. There's 71 laps in the books at the moment. Fifi's holding on to a 2-3 tenths of a second gap. I don't know if anybody's going to really try to go for the lead at the moment. Pit stops are just around the corner for this pack here. I mean, right now, Sprite, this is a perfect opportunity for this 90 car, looking to not only take the points lead away, but also have a hell of a start to the season. Won the Rainbow Road just a couple weeks back in very dramatic fashion. But ever since then, has not had a good past couple of weeks and has allowed the number 420 of Soleil to open up a gap for the points lead. But as they're running right now, Sprite would not only take the points lead, but would run away with it. Soleil is one of the drivers that pitted early in the pit cycle and is sitting 36th. Probably would be 37th if Watson didn't flip, retire from the race. And there's a lot of other drivers, too, that could be a spoiler in the points battle as well. We are only 6 races, gonna be, when we complete this one, out of a 30 race tenure. So a lot can change between now and, I'd say, like, race 20. By the time you get to race 20, that's when you will see who the true dominant cars are going to be for the championship. It is going to be hard to fall off that pedestal once you get that far into the season. Because of how very little of points you'll gain throughout the entirety of a race, as they are scattering all over the place. I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere is going to be pitting soon, right? This gap's still 13, right? I didn't miss anybody going down the pits? Yeah, it's still 13, so nobody has pitted yet from this group. Which is a very bold call by all 13. .31 threes. Maybe, ooh. Maybe tire fall off wasn't as bad as I thought. I mean, they're pretty much running the same speeds. Even under traffic. Not much better. I mean, like, we look at the fact that we look at the fact that, oh my god, look at this. There is not a single car one lap down. We go from 19th and 20th, who are both 20, 21 seconds back, right? And that's Bimble and Kason, respectfully. I can't say that right. Anyways, then you go to 21st, which is Risu, on down, and it's immediately 2 laps down because those are the drivers that pitted, as Dreamer sends it in for first place right now. Just absolutely sent it. Can't complete it right now. Is going to complete it going into 3, though. So, new leader, 89. The good thing, though, if you are Soleil, who is the points leader, is that this 90 car of Sprite has not led a lap yet. So, unless that happens, there's no need to panic. Because that bonus point is going to be very important. Especially since Soleil has not led a lap yet either. I mean, Sprite's going to be looking. She is going to be aggressive here, just coming up on the end of this run. That was a bad exit by that 90, though. For a second, I thought she was pitting. I thought Sprite was pitting for a second. No, she just had a god-awful exit of 4. That was abysmal. Absolutely had second right in her grasp and then just completely fell off. Oh, speaking of that, here comes Risu in the 2 car. One of the cars that pitted. And it's just coming through the field right now. Almost a second quicker. Not exactly a second, but very close to a second quicker. So there's that. I think Bimble just pitted 2. Because he just fell 1 lap down. So I think he just pitted. I think I would like to go and find him, but it's hard to when everybody's moving. There he is. Yeah, he just pitted. So did Kyoso. So we're seeing a couple other drivers coming into the pits. Sprite's up to second now. Nose to tail with the 53. In fact, is going to look underneath the 53. Is Streamer going to do anything about it? That would have probably been a good time to send it 3 wide, but did not. Keeping an eye on everybody who hasn't pitted yet and seeing when they're going to start diving in. Sprite's got the nose out ahead. Clears the 53. And doesn't come into the pits, so new leader, Sprite. Picks up that bonus point. Now we're down to 17 cars on the lead lap as David looks like they just went into the pits. Now you could definitely fall 2 laps down in this track with how quick everybody runs. About 31 seconds. About 30, 31 seconds. The bad news for everybody that pitted and are 2 laps down, everybody from Risu on back, the bad news is that, well, once this pack pits, they're going to be the faster cars again, and they're going to be coming through this field. So you might see some of the... Ooh, there they come. I was going to say, you might see some of these cars dive in, and you are right now. Everybody with the exception, I believe, of a couple cars. I see Star, Callie, Nori, Fu, Iron Mouse, Malcolm, D. They all stay out, and better timing, too. Real good timing, because everybody that just pitted, like, very, very long ago, that are 2 laps down, they're coming. They are blasting right now. Let's see if anybody comes in this time out of the top 4. Doesn't look like anybody did. No. Top 5 didn't pit. Top 6 didn't pit. Top 7? Yeah. We'll keep an eye on the top 7. There goes everybody that was in the lead pack. They have all entered the pits for the most part. Because now it is a group of 7 cars. Lucky is 6.66 seconds back. That is very devilish at the moment. I don't believe they have pitted yet. So they are going to be ones that are going to be coming in late. So far, Star hangs on to the lead, though, but still the entirety of the top, I would say top 10, top 9 have to pit. Actually, I think everybody in the top 11 has to pit still. Maybe with the exception of Kason, but I am pretty certain, yeah, if you aren't a lap down at the very least, you still have to pit. So everybody from Star in first place to Kason in 11th, they all have to pit still. Normally, these green flag pit stops are like a 5-lap gap. You'll see a gap of 5 laps where you'll see people going in and out of the pits. And then we're right back to it. But this is probably one of the biggest gaps between green flag pit stops we will see. Because everybody's got a different strategy at this track, and it's probably not a good strategy. I've seen a lot of terrible strategy this season already, but this race is going to take the cake for some drivers in terms of their strategy calls. Nobody from the top 11 has pitted yet still. Which might be a bad call because just entering some of these shots here is that pack of cars that have pitted, whether it was just recently or very long ago. So far, the top 4 are on each other's tails. You see here. Now, Fu may be one of the last ones to pit because he did pit after that second incident. Well, then again, so did everybody else, now that I think about it, in this top 4. So never mind, I am a bit stupid. And I forgot about that. The top 5 right now did pit very, very much after that second crash. As we see Callie trying to make a move for the race lead. Nobody from the top 11 has still pitted yet, by the way. So we are still waiting for the top 11 to go into the pits. They are playing the ultimate game of chess right now. The way that they are trying to see if they can get a quick caution. I mean, I don't blame them. With how this race started, we had 2 cautions in about 40 laps. It is plausible. And if that does happen, that'll screw over everybody that's 2 laps down or more. Because they will not be able to get back on the lead lap unless they get another quick caution. I think Callie's going to be the one that takes away the race lead. Yeah, it does. Clears to 24 and takes the race lead away. Star may even lose. I would say Star may fall back to 4th, if not 5th. There's 3 cars on the bottom line compared to only her on that middle line. It's not a good spot to be right now. Maybe with a couple other cars in this pack, yeah, that's probably the place to be, but not now. Nori with a drive off the corner. Gonna look down low, try to take the race lead away. Top 5 have been full of cars that have been pretty consistent. The only one is probably Fu, who hasn't been able to capitalize on said consistency with a good finish. Yeah, Jesus. The terms of the points. Well, I can't. Oh my God. So here's the top 5, and then here's everybody back 2 laps down or more. Holy. Well, actually, just 2 laps down. Nobody is more than 2. Everybody back here that isn't on the lead lap is 2 laps down. Yeah. There's a handful of cars that are 1 lap down, but all those cars that are 1 lap down were like Merryweather, Sprite, everybody that pitted just a couple laps ago. But yeah, here's Soleil, the points leader heading into today. I really would like to think that it's just some bad luck, but these last 2 weeks have not been very good for them whatsoever, as Star takes the race lead away again by, I don't know how, but once again, the 24 is back out front. I mean, you don't want to have such an awful race that you start worrying about other drivers other than 2nd and 3rd in points. Here's some 3 wide battling going on back here in this pack, but again, it's not really, I mean, it is for position. That is a plus, but it ain't for high position at all. It's for a very bad position. Or 20th on back. Well, this is a very, very crazy battle going on here. We got David in this pack. Got Kyoso in this pack. Got William. Got Weeaboo. Got Simu. All drivers that were up front for a part of the race. But a key word of that is a part. So right now, this top 4... Actually, pretty much, yeah. This top 7 are running 31.9s. Ew, that's disgusting. And then you got everybody in the... Well, this pack is running slow because everybody else has to run slow. Here comes Lucky, though. I don't know. I think Lucky may have been one of the... Like, I don't know her strategy at all. Because she is still running some really insane lap times. They were 6 seconds back, and now they're less than 2. Or getting there. Now less than 2. Some of these drivers are running 31. Okay, so this pack just caught this pack. And they're 4 wide. Oh my god. Okay, this is going to get stupid. So you have cars that pitted and they're on fresh tires mixing in with cars that haven't pitted as quick or like as recent. So it's a very dangerous mix, and we saw what happened at Dover multiple times, in fact, what happens when you mix old and new tires. This is, like I said, why we have a lot of comers and goers. Because strategies all vary between every driver, and because we have so many stops per race, it happens quite often that, well, we see a lot of people get up to the front because they have a better strategy call than the ones that were up front. Kason just got off pit road, so now it's down to 10 drivers that still need to pit. This is a... Look, oh, Jesus, look at Lucky go. Last time I saw Lucky, they were at the tail end of this pack. Now they're like in the middle. And they are just throwing it. Uh-oh, got a couple pitting. Malcolm, Iron Mouse. A couple drivers pitting. I think David's pitting too. Am I right? No, it's not David. It's D. Sorry. It's actually D that pitted. There's David. Oh, Jesus. Okay, hi, David. Where did that come from? I didn't even know what was going on. I couldn't even tell you what happened there. That was interesting. Looks like the rest are coming in. Yeah, looks like the rest are coming in. There goes Star. So now, oh, even Lucky pitted? Wow, that's surprising. So now here comes the biggest thing that I hate about green flag pit stops. Who is the leader? Is it gonna be Sprite? At the moment, no. Who's it going to be? Oh, Jesus, that scared me. Who's it going to be? Who's the leader? As of right now, it's still Star, but they're in the pits right now. I guess I'll just hang on to this for the second. What a spectator camera. That's a great camera. Can't see anybody. I can't really see anybody through these shots. Let's see. Oh, there goes those cars. There's Kason. There goes Bimble. There's a jumble of cars that are both a lap down and on the lead lap. I can't tell you who is where. I really can't. I want to say they're 3 wide for the lead, but they might also be crashing for the race lead too. I do know DM clocked in top 10 last time by, so it's got to be her right now as the leader. And I'm right. Okay. So yeah, there's this pack right now, and it's full of a lot of cars that aren't on the lead lap. Dreamer, though, is one of them that is on the lead lap looking for the race lead. Gura's one of them on the lead lap. Bao is not. Sprite is one. Soleil is not. That's scary for points. Fifi is on the lead lap. Merriweather is on the lead lap. Fillion and Kobo are not. Now that some of these cars are starting to kind of inch out ahead from the pack of slow cars, kind of slowing down everything right now. Because now this pack turns to 6 cars with everybody else behind by more than 8 seconds. But that one's being led. Actually, it's a battle of 4 cars. That's Star, Iron Mouse, Lucky, and D all trying to battle for 7th on back. It's a more organized sort... Oh, Jesus, that was close. It's more organized back here once you get past that first group. Once you get to this first group of cars, though, it is anything but organized. Gotta love racing. Kobo and Fillion, two of the two of the cars at the tail end of this pack, they are a lap down. Sprite in 6th place. Merryweather in 5th. Fifi in 4th. Bao, 1 lap. 2 many laps down. Soleil, many laps down. Figura in 3rd. And then the top 2 being Dreamer and DM. They are nose to tail right now. Top 2 have separated themselves by over... Almost, actually, not over. About a second. About a second separating top 2 from 3rd place. Now it is over a second. I think... See, now the thing is that I really can't tell you what group is going to be the group to watch. Assuming that this runs green the rest of the way, this is going to be a very, very, like... I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you what group's going to be the group that's going to be the winning group. I mean, as we're looking at the chart right now, the leaderboard on the top left, what was a gap for 8 seconds between 6th and 7th, or close to that, between 6th and 7th, has now died down to what you see right now, which is between Dreamer and Star, the leader of that second pack, it's about 6.5 seconds. But that is easily going to fall. As we watch this next time by here, you'll see what I mean. 6.5 this time. They still haven't crossed the line. Now they have less than 6 seconds. So they gained 0.5 of a second in just 1 lap. That is going to be... That's going to be crazy once we get this all... when they get them all bunched back up again. The biggest losers out of all of this, by the way, are the 4 cars that are 1 lap down between Bao, Soleil, Filion, and Kobo. They are battling to stay on the lead lap, and we do lucky dogs in this series, so if there is a caution, the first car 1 lap down gets their lap back. So they're racing for that, as Dreamer just completely almost gets turned by the 37. That was close. So the main thing is that there's gonna have to be a caution to come out here very soon for the bottom 4, the ones that are a lap down, if they want to be in contention for this race, especially the points leader. Because at this moment, as DM hangs on to the lead for the moment, as a 3 wide for second, but as this moment stands, I don't think Soleil is going to leave this race as the points leader. They only had an 18-point gap to second, and then a 30-point gap to third, which was Merryweather, who is 4th, directly ahead of Soleil. A Dreamer takes... Jesus. I look away for 1 second, and DM falls back to 3rd, and now it's Dreamer and Fifi 1-2. And remember that gap that I was talking about between the leader and Star? It is down to less than 2 seconds. They are right here. They're right there. They're at the tail end of this pack. They're going to catch up, and they're going to be a part of this lead here in a second. It's not a huge pack. I mean, it's just Star, Iron Mouse, Lucky, D, and Callie. And then you got Malcolm, Nori, and Fu by themselves. And they're on the exit of 4. Melody, Tyroki, and David are just now entering turns 3 and 4. So it is a massive gap. But yeah, now the pack of what was 6 cars is now starting to form back up into more cars, especially ones for the lead. There's more cars in this, but for the position, it's 6 cars. Well, it was. Now it's going to be 9, maybe 10, maybe 11. I'll say 11. It'll be 11 cars battling for the lead lap positions. Then you got 4 Yeah, 4 cars a lap down in this pack, too. So it's a group of 15. Quick math. Merriweather is going to try and take the second spot away from Fifi. A lot of help on that bottom line. That might help him out. Now, Bao can... now, this could be another interesting point, too. If Bao ends up... or if somebody from the Lucky Dog ends up taking the spot... oh, my God! Now, hold that thought for a second. Here comes Star and that pack that pitted not too long ago. As they're slowing down. Caution? Is there caution? They're slowing down. There's no caution, but why are they slowing down? What are they doing? There's no caution. Unless I'm blind. I don't see the pace car's not out. Doesn't have the lights on. Alright. Well, you never know what happens in the VTuber Racing Championship season. You never know. Well, for the race lead, here comes the number 24 of Star underneath, well, was underneath the 60, but because Bao is trying to battle to get back on the lead lap, Jesus, what a way to throw them back. Wow, what a move. To the lead goes Star. To second goes Lucky. Falling back again is the number 26 of Bao. You know, I completely lost my train of thought because of what I just witnessed with the pack deciding to slow up for no reason. I thought a caution came out. But nope. Top 2. After 119 laps around Atlanta, it's Star and Lucky. Now, if we invert those two around, it's Lucky Star, and that's a good anime. Just an FYI. As of this moment, it might not be that way. It might be Callie who takes away not only the second spot, but maybe first. Here they come. Bulldozing ahead of steam. Can't get underneath, but definitely could send that 24 up the track. Let them know that they are, in fact, there. Callie does take that race lead away and brings with her Dreamer and Fu. Noriboshi's in the picture now, as well as Malcolm. A lot of drivers are back in this picture. There's a lot of drivers in this picture. I thought it was going to be an 11-car pack, but for some reason, it is now a 14-car pack. All the way down to Sprite in 14th place, and then you got a 8-second gap between... well, now it might not be that way. I don't know. Is Sprite a part of this group? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's just that they are starting to spread themselves thin here. Yeah, because there's this gap right here, and it's a bit of a big gap. They're racing each other quite hard. Might as well. Might as well, right? What's the worst that can happen? That's Callie and Star battling 1-2. Dreamer in third. The battle for fourth rages on between Fu, Iron Mouse, Noriboshi, and Lucky. And the main question will be is when does everybody start coming? Now, yeah, the thing is, too, is that these drivers, a lot of these drivers that just most recently pitted, like Star, Callie, Lucky, and Iron Mouse, just to name a few, they're going to be out here for considerably a long amount of time. They might be trying to run this to the end. They might try to run it to the end. But it also depends on, again, if we see a caution or not. If we don't see a caution, this is going to be an interesting run to the end. If we do see a caution, that throws that whole thing out the window, and everybody just gets back on the on an even playing field. Pick your poison, because one of the two is going to be the choice here. It's going to be a chaotic mess of pit stops and green flag racing. Considerably, what I would say, multi-class racing, with how slow and fast the two packs will be. It's either going to be that, or we're going to see a caution, and we're going to have a lot of chaos, because we're going to see 36 cars battling for something on top of each other. Now, interestingly enough, this pack here, what I thought was going to be a big pack of 15 cars, interestingly is only split. It's split back up to 7. It's just the main cars that pitted early on, or like earlier, like pretty recently. And then you got everybody else that was battling at one point for the lead. They've just kind of split themselves apart. So that's it. That just shows how split these strategies are. They're so split, it's literally costing a lot of drivers the race. So far, 7 drivers have made the right move in terms of their pit strategy. And, well, I mean, we're seeing them all in this one shot right now with Star in first, Callie second, Dreamer third, Mouse in fourth, Fu in fifth, Noriboshi in sixth, and Lucky in seventh. They got D all by themselves in eighth, Merriweather ninth, Malcolm Bell rounds out the top 10, and then everybody else. Thank you for the follow, Dippy. And everybody's doing their own thing. There's a couple other cars pit. Oh, there's a caution! Oh, Jesus. This changes everything. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. This changes everything. Oh, no. And Kyoso's involved again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Not Kyoso. He was doing so well. What happened? Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's a whoa! Fruit sense through the grass. Well, at least she's fine. Risu, oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Is that it? What the? Jesus. Wow. Really? Not a lot to uncover, but what should... Wow. So first off, Selene throws Fruit into the grass, and that sends Fruit back up the track 4 wide, and then domino effect, Weebu, William, into Risu, who then just slides up the track and collides into Kyoso. To be honest, that looked a lot worse. To be honest, that looked a lot worse. Like, the damage to the 47 looks like it went through hell. But all it did was just kind of rode the wall and just spun around. But, damn, that changes literally everything. I mean, that literally, oof. I don't, wow. All of that was because of the 36 being way too slow. Well, I knew something was going to happen, but I was hoping it wasn't this. Because I was kind of hoping that it would be a bit more of a longer run, because I was interested in that. We don't see that we don't see this kind of split strategy the way that we just did. But now that we have that, everybody's going to be coming back into the pits. And we're going to be on a level playing field again. Which means we might see more chaos, but Jesus. Man. I think these pit stops underway. I highly doubt the ones that aren't a lap down, they're going to be staying out. Everybody that's going to stay out at the moment that's on track right now, they're probably just, they're just lap down. They're just a lap down. We're only 6 races into this season, so it is a very, very early season. Whoa, hey, Melody. It's a very early season. We have 30 races, not to go, but 30 races overall in general. Looks like Nana and Bimble, 2 cars on the tail end of the lead lap. They're going to be waved around. I think. Unless Nana... Wait a minute. You're telling me that 9 car's not on the lead lap? Or he's on the lead lap, I'm sorry. I thought he was a lap down. Alright, so Bimble stays out. Why? I'm pretty certain he has not pitted at all, and this is a borderline, I can't say it, but you know what I'm trying to say, call. It's not a good call by that 9 crew whatsoever, but gotta do it, you gotta do something somehow, I guess. Alright. Let's see. Did Bao ever get that lucky dog? Or was Nana the first car 1 lap down? I did see Nana pull out of the pits, right? But I don't know if she was already a lap down or what. She might have barely went a lap down and then gotten... I don't know. Looks like we're 1 to green. We are 1 to green. Wow, that's a shame. Looks like Nana just barely got a 1 lap down. Screwed over everybody from 33rd on back who was trying to battle for that spot. All right, real quick, let's go through the top 10. We have Bimble, who stays out. Star in 2nd. Iron Mouse in 3rd. Dreamer in 4th. Callie 5th. Lucky in 6th. Ironic. D in 7th. Merriweather 8th. Fu in 9th. Malcolm in 10th. And everybody else back. Not everybody's on the lead lap, though. There's 4 cars, 1 lap down. And then there's Nana, whose tail end, well, actually just got back on the lead lap after getting the lucky dog. 130 laps, so done. And obviously, a horrible start by that 9. Wow. I mean, holy crap. That's painful. That was a painful call. They just lost the lead almost instantaneously. And I mean, they're barely hanging on. If not, they're really hurting themselves more by doing this. They're hurting a lot of drivers. But they're doing what they're doing. They got to do it. Got to make these mistakes early on in the season. Oh my God, that is a big checkup on that middle line. I don't think this is going to be the last caution. I don't think that last caution was the last caution. I'm going to be real. There's just something in me that's saying that there's going to be 1 more at least. Yeah. They're 4 wide out of 4. This is not going to end well. Oh boy. Hold your breath, folks. They're still 4. They're not really 4. They're back to 3. I'll be damned. They made that work. They made that work. The field's getting split up quite a lot right now. I'm trying to focus on a chaotic battle. Oh, God. I think I saw a car way up the racetrack. I saw a car way up the racetrack, but I don't know if that was anything major or not. It was a battle for the lead. Dreamer's trying to take away that spot. Kelso still has some of that damage. There's still some damage on that 47, but I don't know if that's cosmetic, more cosmetic. Because there's a difference here. Battle for the lead. Got Dreamer trying to tickle the lead away from Star, but Bao's also trying hard to fight to get that lap back. And Solei's hoping that it works. Unless Soleil could pass that 26 as well, but right now that 26 is hoping to get back on the lead lap some way, somehow. Has a run off the corner. Has a huge push by that 420. Might edge out ahead, and does. Might even bring the 420 with them, so that's 2 cars back on the lead lap. That'd be a comeback of the century if we see this 420 back up front. If they get the lap. Right now, they're the lucky dog. Maybe... Uh-oh, this is going to get chaotic if Dreamer pulls this move. Ooh, we thought about it. Ooh, we thought about it. So right now, Bao and Soleil, they aren't 1-2, but they are tail end of the lead lap. So that is good news for them. But they need to seal it off by getting a caution. They're 3 wide behind the leader right now. Fillion in the 78 up at the very top is not on the lead lap, but is in the lucky dog spot. Kobo and... Actually, no, Kobo is actually 1 lap down as well. These two, the 70 and the 78, they're battling to get back on the lead lap. Same way that the 420 and the 26 just did. The 24 has pretty much all by themselves at this point. They are all by themselves. I mean, they got cars battling behind them, wanting to, you know, take the spot away, but it's not really for position. It's just to, yeah. The first car that is battling the 24 is this 89 car. It looks like all 4 cars are going to unlap themselves the most natural way possible. Now all they can hope for is a caution. Which isn't going to happen as quickly with that 9 car being all the way at the tail end of the field. They went from first place to last place in less than 9 laps, by the way. Just saying. Dreamer takes the race lead away. Callie looking for second. It's a group of 5 right now. It is a group of 5 thanks to the whole restart. I was not expecting the fact that we were going to be still grouped up, but hey, I'll take it, I guess. I'll take it. I'll take it. I kind of like this racing. With Dreamer out front, Star looking to take that second spot away. If Dreamer is quick enough, he might be able to lap back that 78 and use them as a defensive ploy, if you will. But they are running halfway decent. Like, these 4 cars, they are not damaged. They are not slow in any capacity. In fact, they're running quicker than the leaders. They were just back there 1 lap down because they just had a horrible strategy. Horrible and unlucky strategy. The double whammy, if you will. Battle for the lead. Start looking underneath. Keep in mind, we only have about 54, 53 to go. This race has flown by. We are about an hour, yeah, about 2 hours close to, about an hour and a half, actually, into this race. Doesn't feel like it. The 4 cars on the tail end of the lead lap have pulled out completely from everybody else, so they are really hoping this does not go green to the end. They really want at least 1 more caution so that they can at least contend for a better position than bottom 30. There goes Merriweather into the picture as well. They're still side by side for the race lead. I think Dreamer clears off too. Dreamer clears, but not completely. Still gets sent up the racetrack. Top 5, top 6, actually top 7 on top of each other. There's Weebu in 8th, and they're coming. They're slowly getting up here. 1.5. What was it this time? 1.1. Okay, that was a big change there. Jesus. That was a big change between last lap and this lap. 3 wide for 3rd. Malcolm on the bottom, Merriweather in the middle, Callie up at the very top. Star looking down low for the race lead. Tries to send it underneath, and does, but might not be able to get the run off the corner because of that. Does not. Jim's going to hang on. Weebu's caught this pack. So now it's a group of 8. And then it's a 2-second gap to 9th place. While that is also diminishing as well, but not at a rapid rate. When you cross the line, it will be 50 to go. I do believe they might have to pit one more time. It's going to be very close. I think they got to pit one more time. 3 wide for third. Still side by side for second. Weebu trying to get up to third, going 3 wide. Oh, there goes Bimple. Oh, there goes Bimple. He started this restart in first place, but couldn't last 15 laps with those tires. I wish I could say I was shocked. I saw that coming a whole mile away. No pun intended. Bit of a gap between first and second at the moment. Dreamer's hanging on. He hasn't had very good luck. I mean, he had a bit of a shining light onto him. He started on the front row on the third race of the season at Rainbow Road, then was immediately taken out in the first lap. There's this pack of 4 right now. They're battling amongst themselves, side by side for the race lead again. This time Star edges out a little bit, but not by much. I think Dreamer's still going to lead this lap, and I think does. Pretty close. That's very close. Yeah, just barely. It doesn't even register a time on the top left. They were dead equal. Robo Rudy, thank you for the follow as well. Starting to become a pack of what? A pack of everybody at this point. I think everybody's getting back up front now. There's a small pack at first because of the restart, but now we got Simu, Risu, Fruits in the picture as well. Got a bunch of people coming up slowly. The Star takes the race lead and clears off that 89. The 11 car Weebu trying to... Jesus, that was close. Oh my god. Merriweather was barely clear up top there. That was very close. I was about to commentate both Weebu and unintentionally commentate in live reaction time the wreck, but that didn't happen. Thankfully. Weebu's still 3 wide up top with Callie in the middle and Fu on the bottom. That is for the 3rd place. You keep in mind again, I am having a bit of slight connection issues because of the god-awful weather that's here at my place. So if the quality does drop a little bit, hopefully it doesn't drop for very long. But anyways, Weebu up to 3rd. Hangs on. What was going on there? Top 3 are on top of each other. They've kind of pulled out a little bit of a gap between them and 4th. Dreamer looks underneath for 1st, but can't get the run off the inside line. Still isn't completely... He still has a chance here in 3 and 4. Weebu's going to move up to the middle, so they're going to take up that spot in that middle line. And they might even battle... Might even take 2nd away from Dreamer. They do that time by in terms of that outside line. So that outside line's pretty prevalent. That outside line's a pretty good spot. Because now Weebu's up to 2nd. Has a big run off of turn 2. Might look low this time for the lead. We haven't really called much of Weebu ever since the first run. We've kind of fell back. Oh my god, that's real tight. Ooh, that's a tight battle for 2nd. And a bit of a gap there to 3rd. No move being made there. No move being made there. Very chaotic set. Like that's Whew, up close and personal, if you will. A very calm last couple of laps, though. Thankfully, was able to give me enough time to do that kind of thing. I haven't done that in a while. Battle for third. Fu underneath for underneath Callie. That's for third again. Top two kind of broken away a little bit because of that battle. We've been doing a little bit of a conservative move here and just allowing that 24 to kind of sit where they're at. Might be the best call that you can make in this situation. Still got about 40 laps. You do not want to make the move too early and screw yourselves up. Meanwhile, what again used to be a pack of 7 cars that grew slowly has now grown completely, and it's now about 22, 20, actually 21, no, about 20 cars. Top 20 are all grouped up together. At least the top 20 in the positions. Callie was looking underneath for second. Didn't look like they were going to get the run off the corner anyways. Top 4 now have grouped up and kind of become nose to tail. And you got this pack back here, and it does go all the way back to Noriboshi in 20th. And then you got Iron Mouse in 21st, who fell all the way back. A driver that was up front during the green flag run, then DM being another one of them as well. I mean, that's one thing that I don't like about the whole comers and goers thing, is that it's like, it's really hard to find a dominant driver throughout the entirety of a race because they always trade positions. However, that also leads into the fact that, again, you never know what's going to happen. Somebody that has run really well might not finish well, and that's why qualifying is kind of useless. Qualifying is kind of useless in the season, and that's what I've been seeing the last 5-6 races, including this one. So I don't think a lot of these drivers started up in the top 10, if I'm being completely honest. Somebody that is in the top 10 now that has been desperately looking for a top 10 in the last couple of weeks is Lumen. Didn't finish well at Dover. Again. Story of the entire season for this 52. He almost had a top 5 at Martinsville. Maybe a win. It could have been a win, but got spun off of that 60 cars bumper, who is right behind him, and ended up finishing in 14th. Second place battle here. Callie looking underneath the 11. No, it's a battle for the lead. Weebu looking underneath for the lead. Gotta make the move now. Still got 35 to go, but there's a lot of cars in this pack now. We started with pack racing, and it looks like we're going to end it with pack racing. I mean, this entire race has been pack racing, so I guess there's that. 35 to go here at Atlanta. Star hangs on for the lead, though. So no lead change there. No second place change either for the moment. Callie's defending hard on that middle to top line. Tried to keep Sprite away from doing anything crazy. And now Callie moves down low for a spot for second. But Weebu's going to get the run off the middle and is going to hang on to second. Might get a run for the lead. Sprite takes third away from the top. Actually, he's going to look for second. Can she get there? Slides up, but can't clear. 11's still there. Might have the run. They actually go underneath. Nope, doesn't look like it. Still side by side for second. Now side by side for the lead. Sprite looking to lead another lap. There's somebody that also hasn't led a lap here yet today that has been looking to is that 52. Like I said, Lumen struggling throughout the majority of this start to the season. However, the top two still stay in top 2. Slight breakaway on the pack right now. But Weebu and Sprite hanging on to the 1-2. Sprite hanging on to third, but they're 3 wide behind. Nose to tail between first and second. Then there's about a 2-car length gap between second and third. The laps are winding down quicker and quicker, but they aren't really running as quick of lap times as, hell, we were at the start of the race. Lap times have dwindled down to 31.5s on average. Maybe even less than that, actually. Now that I look at the pack, it's actually rather close to 32 seconds. Big fall off from where they once were. Weebu again looking for that inside line to prevail, but it just doesn't work. Now we got a battle for third, and that's Fruit in the 84. A name I have not called at all the last couple of weeks. A name that has been so dormant in terms of being called that it almost feels weird for me to call that 84's name. But they're up to third at the moment, or up to fourth, battling for third. And what might actually be my favorite scheme, it's a battle between that and Fifi in terms of my favorite schemes. Still again, 1-2. Still really not having much of a decisive factor there in terms of whether or not Weebu can make anything happen. It is going to have to come down to something drastic. That inside line has prevailed a couple times for the race lead. It has not worked against that 24 at all in this run, at least. Another look to the inside. Can Weebu get something here? Cannot. I don't know. I don't know if anybody can have anything for that 24. They're side by side down the back, but I don't think it's going to last very long, no. 24 clears off from the middle. I mean, it is a wild hunt behind them, but the top two have stayed consistent. Side by side across the line, it's still Star out front. This is so far the 6th race of the season out of a 30 race season. So still very early in the season. Very early. Not even a third. Feels like it feels like we're more than a third of the way done, but no, we are not even close. Oh, Weebu may actually have something. Well, I don't know. That was a slight checkup on exit. It's going to be a tight battle off 4 here, though. Tied off 4. It's still going to be Star hanging on. Well, Weebu hanging on inside. That might be the benefactor. Got Bimble in the 9, who restarted up front, but he is not on the lead lap. He is, in fact, 2 laps down. The same could be said for Lucky as well. Somehow not on the lead lap. This could be the difference maker, though. If Bimble goes into the middle, Weebu's going to have the preferred line. Bimble's going to get one of his laps back and be on the lucky dog spot. So he can get another lap back if there's a caution. But even then, Star still hangs on to the race lead. Henya, where did she come from? 3 wide for the lead. That might help out Weebu. Weebu hangs on to the middle, clears low, still has the car up top to deal with, though. But will have the advantage going into this corner. At least on entry, but can they hang on and clear up top on exit? Still no. That 24 is strong on that middle line. Even with being shoved to that preferred line, Weebu still can't make that move work. I think Lucky also went down pit road too, because that's the only other way you could go 2 laps down that quickly without me noticing. So Lucky's probably also going to be coming up through this field. In fact, I could try to see if I could find them. Oh, they are way far back. Never mind. Yeah, they're not going to be much of a factor. Yeah, they're not going to be much of a factor at all. I thought they would be, but no, they just, nope. That's a no-no. Not with almost 20 laps to go. That's just not going to happen. Still side by side for that race lead. Henya looking for another move for 3 wide for the lead. Can't do it. Can't get underneath. If this race goes green to the end, that 24 is going to be the winner. I cannot see how else that's going to work. 24 is strong on that middle line. They've been able to hang on regardless of what that 11 car has been able to do. It might be different if there's another car underneath. I'm not too sure. They are running nearly identical lap times. Slightly quicker is that 24. Not by much, though. 173 laps in the books. Still have about 22 to go, though. Ooh, that's a tight... Oh, my God. That was a nose cut off. That was a nose that just got cut off. But Weebu ain't gonna go away without a fight, that's for sure. Nor is Henya. Here she comes again, looking low, looking very tightly low. Again, there may also be pit stops, but I am very much not sure. That last caution came out right on that bubble. It was right on that bubble where we would see green flag pit stops to the end. Top two have separated by about a car length, but it's still not enough for Weebu to clear that 24 and take that race lead away. Henya's still hanging on to third. Simu battling for fourth. Simu, who started on the second spot, so I guess qualifying ain't too much of a disaster in terms of that. Because qualifying usually means that you would finish well, but that hasn't really been the case all season for anybody. Qualifying really is just a joke if I'm being completely honest. With the exception of Martinsville, but that's about it. And really, the only excuse for that is mainly because Martinsville's a short track and it's hard to pass the way that we have seen today. Because of it. Yeah, it really does not also help, too, that Weebu also looks like they are struggling to get off that corner. And I think because of that, Henya's going to be able to make something happen. Or maybe not. I was going to say, like, that was an opportunity, but I think Weebu may have an advantage going down slightly quicker. 176 to 175 going into 3 and 4, but it's not going to make the move. That's a bold decision by that 11 crew right now. Nose to tail still. Still nose to tail. Now looks underneath. Tries to, again, to make another move happen. You wear out that 24, maybe at one point it'll work. They wear out that 24. You make that 24 use up more of their stuff, they are going to slow up. But that is going to open up the door for everybody else behind, too. Because that 11 car is also using up their stuff. A good run in 3, but can they get a good run off 4? A little bit better this time. A little bit better this time. Still going to hang on. Ain't going to edge out ahead, but still hangs on. This is going to be a good entry into 1, maybe? Might even clear. It depends on if they get a good exit. If they get a good exit off 2, that's a clear. Can they clear? It's tight. Oh, they do clear. And immediately Star goes back low. What a move. The roles have been reversed. The table has been flipped. New leader, 11. Will that be for long, though? Oh, I'm hearing something going on behind. Uh-oh, there's a big one! Big one in turn 1. Sprite, Fu, Lumen. I think that may just be 3. That is going to bring out the yellow. Yeah, good lord. How many incidents is this 17 car going to be involved in? That's a third today. Let's look here. Assuming it's 4Y that happened here. Oh, well, no, not really. No, not really. Fu was just trying to go up a little bit of ways, and Sprite was there, and they just collided. Bam! Into the wall. And Lumen, just an innocent bystander, getting tagged and spun around. Nori also got tagged, but Nori at least saved it. But yeah, it's just these 3 cars that got a piece of it. Good job on Lumen, though, for not sliding back up into the wall, though. Get one last look here. Get one last look at it here. I mean, Nori was looking underneath, so Fu kind of slid up to give that spot up, and then just BAM! Oh my god. Well, if there's any good news out of that, that's the good news for Soleil, is that the 90 car has lost all that track position. All of that track position is gone for that 90 crew. Which means now Soleil now has a chance to at least make up for something here. As they're the points leader coming into this race. But the way things have been shaken up, it might not be that way going out. There is still one more restart, though. And it couldn't have come at a better time for them. Because if by them, I mean like these four right here that were battling, that battled way early on in that restart to get their lap back. And they did just that. Well, there's our leader at the moment. After fighting very diligently, I can't say that word, very hard, I'll just say, for the race lead, they got it. And now they have to immediately fight even harder for the win. I believe the restart's going to come with either 11 or 12 laps to go. Maybe 10 if it's a longer caution. There's one car one lap down, and that's Bimble, so they'll get the lucky dog, I think. I mean, I don't control that, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Lucky is in the 6th, sitting 36 right now. They are going to need to have 2 quick cautions, and I mean like instantaneously. We're at that point where if we get a caution, especially with like less than 5 laps to go, it's going to be iffy whether or not the race will be restarted. Look at those tire marks in entry to 1. Good lord, that's a lot. But we have a moment to catch our breath, so let's do that, shall we? Or at least I hope we have a moment. It's going to be a very chaotic restart, though. Everybody's back up. So, yeah, there goes Bimble for get back on the lead lap. But they're going to be quite quick. I don't know how quick. They pitted 10 laps, 15 laps after the last restart. And that's a couple laps after everybody else pitted before that restart. So I'd say Bimble has about 15, 16, maybe 17 laps fresher tires than the rest of the field, so they may be one to watch. I'd watch out for that 9 car. Yes, they do have to go through the entire field, but I'd definitely watch for that 9 car to be up in the top 10, maybe top 15 at least. Just at least. We are 1 to go. So we are going to have a restart with 12 laps to go. Weebu, Star, Callie, Simu, Malcolm, the top 5. Merriweather, Henya, Fruit, D, Nori, round out the top 10. Risu in 11th, Gura in 12th, William in 13th, Dreamer in 14th, David in 15th, Iron Mouse in 16th, Lumi in 17th, DJ Overdrive in 18th, Kason in 19th, and rounding out the top 20 is Fifi. Then there's the rest of the field. Sprite's got a little bit of back-end damage, and they're right next to Soleil right now. A couple drivers go down in the pits this time by. Actually, a lot of drivers. They might also be ones to watch, too. I don't know if they went for tires and just filled up with gas, but if they went into the pits, I would definitely take tires, no matter what. So I would not be shocked if they took tires. All right. This is going to be a chaotic 12 laps. Can Weebu survive? Can the drivers that just pitted, will they be a factor? There's 12 laps to decide. The winner of round 6 here at Atlanta. Green flag. When we cross the stripe, it will be 11 laps to go. And the only one that stayed in the middle entering turns 1 and 2 is Star, and they kind of are paying the price for that. Not a good restart by that 24 team. But here comes Callie. Malcolm's all over the racetrack. He went through like 3 different lanes at once, sending it 3 wide for 3rd. Callie looking underneath for 1st, but Weebu's going to hang on and take control this time by. But will they be able to hang on for 11 more laps? Here comes Starlight to the inside. Driver who has finished 2nd or 3rd, top 5 in pretty much every single race. The one position that has eluded them this entire season so far has been 1st. They have been one consistent driver this entire season, but they have not been able to cash in with a win. Today could be the day, but there's still 10 laps to go to decide that. Weeboo hanging on, though. That middle line is going to be the best line of defense for this 11 team right now. But can they hang on 10 more laps? It's going to take one hell of an entry and exit by this 24 team to make that move happen. Side by side for the race lead. They're side by side behind. So right now it's just these two battling it out. Star with an edge out ahead, but can they get a runoff exit? The answer might be a no. They're still going to have a good chance here entering 1 and 2, but here comes Simu looking for third, or looking for more than just being in third right now, that they're going to hang on to the middle line and try to see what happens here. Still on the bottom, it's that 24 crew team, I should say. Here comes a 99 up top, though, trying to take second. Star cannot get back in line, so instead has to settle for a battle for second as Weeboo hangs on out front. Side by side on back. It's now Simu up to second. Good run off of 4. Good run from that middle line, and now the 24 back to third. Might be back to fourth because here comes Callie, a driver I've called a lot today. Simu with a huge check up on the exit of 2. That's going to bring that 24 up the track. Might blocks that lane. 99 blocked that lane. Good block there by the 99. They're going to get defensive here. The top 3 is going to be aggressive, but they're also got to play defense. It's happened a lot this season already. Top 3 have pulled out to about a car length and a half lead. About a gap between third and fourth. A little bit of a... Ooh, that was close to a push right there. That's as close to a push as you can get. Simu trying to intimidate that 11 car, trying to force a mistake and just force something bad for that 11. And here comes Star to the bottom underneath. That's going to give that 99 car maybe a chance at something here. Good run off of 4 by the 99. Clears the 24. Might be looking underneath for the 11 for the race lead. He's looking. He's looking. He's gone. Oh, he's on that line. He's going to be there for the entire corner. But he's not going to be able to get underneath the 11. Is anybody going to pass this 11 car? That is the main question. Same story with the 24, but a different dancer. Tight battle for this win right now with 5 laps to go. Can anybody dethrone this 11 car? It is a fight for the win. This is something that is not normal this season. Every race so far has been very close, and there's been a last lap pass in almost every single race so far this season. With the exception of Martinsville. The exception of Martinsville, every single race has been decided on a last lap pass. So at that point, the advantage goes to maybe the 99, maybe the 24, maybe the 73. But we do know that because of that fact alone, the 11's at a disadvantage here. But with 3 laps to go next time crossing the line, and how the last 20 laps have been, it might actually be a good thing that the 11 car is out front right now. As long as we stay green, this will be an intense battle. 3 laps to go here at Atlanta. Simu just kind of taking their time. They know that it's going to be a struggle to get this win. Do they want to make the move whenever they can and make it quick. But when do they make it? They make it too early, they get passed for the win on the last lap. They make it too late, then they're going to be second. The game of chess, who's going to be the master at it? Top 3 are on top of each other's tails. It's a bit of a gap between that and fourth. 2 laps to go here. A good defensive showing by this 11 team at the moment, but can they make it stick for 2 more laps? Very close, nose to tail. Simu looking underneath. Good run off of 2 by that 99. They're going to be set up good for a 3 and 4 pass. Maybe not. The 11 has a good run into turn 3. They're blocking. They're blocking. Right on top of each other here. Cross the line. 1 lap to go here at Atlanta. Weebu hanging on. Battle for second. Star up top. Gonna hang with it on the middle line. Nearly getting it to the 99. Touching the 99. Up the track goes the 99. They're battling tight for second. That's good news for the 11. Weebu blocks high. Star's going to have a run on the high side. But Weebu blocks low. That might be a good thing, though. Off of turn 4. Can Weebu block high? They do block high. Coming across the line, it's going to be Weebu who's going to take home the checkered flag at Atlanta. An absolute great showing of defense by that 11 team. Blocking low, blocking high at the perfect time. Keeping the 24 of Star back to second for another top 5 finish, but not cashed in with a win by that 24 team. What a race. That last 11 laps was hard to watch at times. It was scary. It was like a horror film. Felt more like a horror film than anything else. But Weebu gets it done. Very tight. 0.07 of a second split the two of the 11 and the 24. It was all a top 3 race, though, because you look at 3rd and 4th, they were separated by almost an entire second. We'll go through the full results and points here in just one moment. I'll get that set up here real quick. Let me get that situated here. I mean, we could also we also have like the race. You know what? I'll show that off here real quick too. Let me just, I don't think I have the, I think I have, oh, let's bring it over here. I'm pretty sure I got the Eurobeat track. Pretty sure. Yes, I do. Good. I remember that from the last time. Did it turn on? Oh, I didn't turn that one on. Turn this one. Haha. There we go. Sweet. So right now, this is, of course, the schedule for the next couple of weeks. Okay, including Atlanta, we have Michigan next week, and then we go to the Charlotte road course, and then after that, Talladega and Pocono. So with that out of the way, let's quickly get situated with the finishing results and points. I'm pretty sure... Okay, there we go. There we go. And get rid of that. So here's our finishing results here, our official results, I should say, from the 6th race of the season here at Atlanta. Weebu takes home the checkered flag after starting 32nd. Again, the qualifying is insane. But 2nd and 3rd were decided by people starting in the top 3. Stars finishing in 2nd after starting 3rd, and Simu finishing 3rd after starting 2nd. So there's that. Star also led the most amount of laps, leading 85 laps, which is definitely not a shocker compared to, I mean, pretty much, I wouldn't say the most dominant run this entire season. I mean, David led a lot of laps at Martinsville, but I don't think he led this amount of laps. Simu led 5 laps, Weebu led 17. The top 5 all led laps here today, so there is that. Top 5 finishing up with Callie in 4th and Merriweather in 5th. Noriboshi comes home 6th, Malcolm in 7th, D in 8th, Fruit in 9th, and Henya in 10th place. Scroll it down here just a little bit here so you can see that. Look at who finished in 11th. Sorry. Yeah, look who finished in 11th place. I told you that 9 car was going to be flying. I told you that 9 car was going to be flying after getting that lap back. So maybe a bold chess move by the 9 car of Bimble. They were multiple laps down, and then they fought to get back on the lead lap, and then they got 11th in the end. So not a great finish by the 9 car after leading 2 laps, but whew, that was... If that last run was 20 laps, the 9 car would have probably won this race, just saying. Gura finishes in 12th, Risu in 13th, William in 14th, Dreamer in 15th, Mouse in 16th, Lumi in 17th, DJ Overdrive in 18th, Melody in 19th, and David rounds out the top 20. Scroll down a little bit of ways, we'll find Sprite recovering from that last incident, finishing 21st, Kason 22nd, Beefy 23rd, Selen 24th, Fu and Kyoso, 2 drivers involved in multiple accidents, finishing 25th and 26th respectively. Then he got DM in 27th, Mizuki in 28th, Nana in 29th, Lumen in 30th, Fillion in 31st, 32nd going to Kobo, 33rd in Bao, Tairoki 34th, Soleil, a abysmal run here today, finishes 1 lap down in 35th, but not the only car 1 lap down. Lucky finishing 36th, 2 laps down, and Watson DNFing from this race after the first wreck of the day. With that out of the way, here are the results for the points going out of Atlanta. That one, for the moment, was Dover going in to the race. But the points have been shooken up entirely now. The top 5, for the most part, have changed dramatically, including a new points leader heading into next week's race. Merriweather takes home the top spot in the points, sitting just about 7 points, I should say, from Star. And then you got Soleil, who drops 2 spots, but is still 9 points back, so still in the running for the points lead. The top 3, by the way, have not won a race. Merriweather, Star, and Soleil are all looking for their first win of the season still. Still only 6 races in, so still it can come at any time though. Then you got a trio of winners in 4th, 5th, and 6th with Noriboshi, Sprite, and the Dover race winner in Malcolm Bell. Simu gains a spot after finishing 3rd and is now sitting 7th in the points. And then you got Cali getting themselves in the top 10 and 8th place in the points. Bimble gains a spot, gets 9th in the points at the moment. And then DJ Overdrive and David fall outside the top 10. Well, actually, DJ still hangs on to the 10th spot. In fact, is tied for 9th place, but still loses 3 spots regardless of that. And there's, for the most part, everybody from 12th on down to 21st. Weebu gaining 10 spots after winning this race, so a huge jump in the points by Weebu. A great jump, though, especially this early in the season. They're starting to kickstart something here. But you'll start to notice here as we go scroll back up to the top here. You look at the fact that we have a close battle. The top 5 are all within about 10, a little bit more than 10 points from each other, right? From 1st to 5th, it is a 12-point split between them, so it's still very tight. But you got to remember that's still technically 12 spots, so it could still change, but it's gonna still. The more we scroll down, the more and more unlikely we'll see some drivers up at the top of the board in the points. This points format's going to reward consistency more than any other points format. And if we see any drivers fall out of a race or have one bad race, it's pretty much game over for their entire season. Now, we do not see the bottom 5 drivers. That goes all the way to 32nd. My list goes to 37th. So we see Dreamer in 32nd, gaining 4 spots. 33rd is Watson, who loses 7 after DNFing. 34th is Lumen, who loses 3 spots. Mizuki loses 1 and sits 35th. Kobo sits 36 after losing a spot. And still in last place, and the only driver that is not in the triple digits of total points, goes to the number 85 of Nana. But it is a dogfight for the points here. In the top 5 at the very least, as you look at it once more. Do keep in mind that this is still only 6 races in, and we still have about 24 races left, so there's still a lot of time for anybody from really anywhere to make a statement happen. But as the weeks go on and the races go through and we don't see a lot of action from some of these drivers that need some action, the more unlikely it is that they're going to be a part of the championship action moving forward. Look at some of these stats here. I mean, I can tell you this. Everybody in the top 10 has led a lap. The first driver that has not led a single lap this year so far is Risu in 12th, who has not led a single lap but still has 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s. We have one driver, only one driver out of the top 10, leading more than 100 laps this entire season. And that's Star, who has led 125 laps. The closest after that, in the top 10 at the very least, is Zimu, who has 85 laps led this entire season. David has 94 laps led, who would be the next, I think would be the next closest one, if I remember correctly. Yeah. The next closest in terms of total laps led would go to David, who sits in 11th right now with 1 win, 1 top 5, 1 top 10, and 1 pole. That was all in the same race at Martinsville, by the way. The drivers, there, I think, okay, before I end it off here, there are 3 drivers that have 4 top 10s, and that's Merriweather, Soleil, and Noriboshi. You can kind of see that. There's 2 drivers. There's 2 drivers that have 3 top 5s, and that's Merriweather, Soleil, and Cali. But again, Soleil, Star, and Merriweather, the top 3 in the points, have not won a race this season. The farthest down the list in terms of winning the race would actually be Weeboo. Weeboo just ended up winning this race, so they gained 10 spots there. So I won't really count Weeboo because they just won a race after struggling to start the season. The next one then would be Iron Mouse, who sits 14th after winning at Texas. So it is it's something. It's something when we look at the points. But again, here are the final results here from Atlanta. I'll actually scroll up a little bit more so you can see that. That's the top 7 at the very least. So there you go. Whew. And with that, I'll once again pull up the schedule here in a moment as I let this show for about a second, and I'll show this. So this is again our next couple of races here for the schedule, and again I will of course update this as we move on. Once we get past Pocono, I'll update it then. But that is that. Thank y'all so much for watching. I'm pretty certain I will upload this as a separate VOD because again, with how cold it is at my place, the internet may not be the greatest, and I know that the quality might have dipped a few times here and there, and I don't really want to have that kind of VOD. So I think I am going to re-upload this on YouTube as the from the recording. The only thing is that I accidentally forgot to record the first minute, so you won't see the intro. Oops. But that's that. Other than that, yeah, that's about the only issue there. I should be back. I want to be back tomorrow. But I don't know if the weather's going to be nice to me. I'll try. Definitely try. But yeah. I'll be back on maybe tomorrow, if not Tuesday. If I can find somebody to read. Anyways, I'm going to stop the recording. There we go. And I will be back eventually, either tomorrow or Tuesday morning, one of the two. And I'll do some maybe chatting, maybe gaming, maybe something. I don't know yet. I wanted to... I could raid Malcolm. Because it did finish pretty well. Right. Alright, I'll raid Malcolm. Alright. As I said, I'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll be back next week for more of the racing. In terms of the racing, next week, that'll be Michigan. That's going to be a fun race, I know. And then after that, will be Charlotte Road Course, and then Dega, and yeah, it's just going to be fun. That's going to be fun as hell. But yes, like I said, I'll be back in terms of streaming tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday, if not. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good rest of the day.